Okay, good morning. Welcome to Livable Legacies. My name is Rose Nyaundo, and today we are going to talk about the growth or lack of thereof of our relationships and how we deal with this. Please like and subscribe below. Let me know what you think about the content. Share your feedback, and also share how you have dealt with these kinds of relationships before, and I'll share mine and how I've dealt with these kinds of relationships before. First, I have to preface this by saying I am a sore. I find it very difficult to let go of relationships, and I tend to drag relationships along for so long, and it takes me a while to let go of relationships because I'm always someone who thinks about everything else that we could achieve, or seeing the best in every situation. And I'm not saying that is always the right thing. Sometimes it is counterproductive, right? Sometimes it slows us down. So here I have 5 ways with which I have dealt with outgrowing relationships and how I have handled them and how I'm continuing to handle them in order to allow myself to expand, in order to allow myself to scale, in order to allow myself to create space for more. And we have agreed that here in Livable Legacies, we are about being limitless, we are about expansion, and we are about being more, and we are about thriving at like a Boeing 747 engine and not like a motorbike engine, right? And so if you can expand and be like a Boeing engine and take on the full throttle that a Boeing engine would take, then it would force us somehow to let go of the motorbike throttle engine that we have and be able to rise up to that level. And sometimes, unfortunately, you cannot bring everything and everybody with you, and we cannot bring everything and everyone with us. So here are 5 ways that I have dealt with. Welcome to Livable Legacies, and let's get started.
Welcome to Livable Legacies.
So here are 5 ways that I have dealt with. Number 1, I acknowledge the growth and the change that I have and how far I have come. I take inventory of my personal growth, and again, growth is a very, very personal journey. My sister can grow on her own path, and I grow on my own, and we could literally be in the same environment and grow very differently, the both of us, right? Or my family, or my mother, or my husband, and my children. And so growth is very personal. I think it's just about the most personal thing that we do, right? And how do we grow? We grow emotionally. Are the things that trigger you, or the things that made you happy 5 years ago probably don't make you happy now, right? We grow mentally. The way we think, the way we perceive things, the way we acknowledge things, right? Changes, and the way we see things, perspectives changes, right? And that if you're changing in that way, that's a good indicator. That means we are growing. That means we are in life. We are taking life by the horns, and we are thriving in it. If you're the same person you were 5 years, 10 years back, you need to evaluate. If you're not changing in that way, you need to take inventory of yourself and ask yourself, are you being authentic and absolute to who you truly are, or are you hiding and being a shadow to your real life? Are you driving your life, or is your life following you? Are you chasing your life ahead of you, trying to catch up, or is your life dragging, is your life chasing you from behind, or are you in the driver's seat steering your life? That is the difference. So again, this growth, the emotional, mental, physical growth, all of that, psychological growth, all of that is what creates that misalignment in our relationships, especially when we are not doing it together, right? If we are living separate lives, we are going to grow apart, right? And it's okay. It's okay. It's part of life. It's part of growth. It's part of nature, right? We are not the kids we were 20 years back, and we're certainly not the people we will be when we're in our 60s and our 70s, or that kind of. So let's leave behind what does not serve us, which is very hard, even for me, who is speaking. I agonize about letting go of relationships, but at a mental level, I recognize these relationships do not serve me no more. And they do not serve the higher good, and I need to move forward, and I need the things I don't want to invest time in no more. And so, be okay with it. Be okay with shed off that weight, and it's okay. And in the same breath, now that's one. Number two, while we are letting go of that weight, is also in understanding the different phases of life that we are in. What is the driving factor behind us not growing at the same pace, as living different lives? And also the reason why we're living different is because we're in different phases of life, right? Life goes in phases. There is a phase that you're hustling. There are phases where you're just like cruising, no effort. Then there are phases where there's a lift, right? You have to lift something, take off, or you have to rise to something, right? So there are different phases in life, and there are phases. For example, when my children were little, it's a different phase, and someone whose children are still in their diapers is a very different phase from someone whose children are in high school. Different phase from someone whose children are getting married. I can't believe this. I have friends with children who are getting married. And they were just kids the other day. So it is a different phase, and just understanding that people are at different phases in their lives. You're probably past that phase, and you're trying to fit in to that phase still, and for the sake of, and I have had this many times, trying to fit in, and because I'm trying to fit in, and I'm not acknowledging that, hey Rose, you are at a different phase in life than you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, for example. It's a different phase, and because of those differences in phases, it strains relationships. It causes these differences in lifestyle. And you see this a lot, especially for young women, at least for us young women. You hear, once I had kids, I lost certain friends. Why? Because it's a different phase of your life. What are you talking about? Someone is talking about going to the club. You are talking about, I had to wake up in the night. The baby had a cold. We stayed up all night. The baby was colicky. I mean, what are you talking? There are very different phases of life, and therefore your lifestyles are different, right? Priorities change, right? When I have moved to a different culture, a different town, different city, different state, all those movements call for me to be able to adjust accordingly. It means I have to accept certain pieces of our culture that are true, and also drop some that are no longer true and that no longer serve me, and that will no longer let me adopt in the new environment. So understand that, and accept and embrace the fact that change is personal, okay? And people grow at their own pace and space, and let it be. Let it be. Give them space to grow. Give yourself space to grow. Don't fight too much to fit in. Accept when you're the outsider, and find spaces that push you up to thrive. I'm constantly looking. If you know me, you know me. I am constantly looking for spaces that make me thrive. If I find myself trying to fit in an environment, I know that does not have my name on it. It is not calling me. My name is not on it. I am not trying to fit in anywhere. I'm forever the outlier. I had someone, I love John Hope Bryant, who he said something the other day. He said, egos don't flock. And I consider myself an ego for a spirit animal. I think I am an ego. And I thrive in that. I thrive in high altitudes. I thrive in higher, I thrive higher, in a higher environment. I thrive in that space. It's my sweet spot, being an outlier, that rather than being part of, or rather than being flocking together like this. That's not me. That's very cool. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, establish healthy boundaries, right? Otherwise you risk misusing people, and you risk being misused, right? There are things you should be able to say no to. I think no is since I'm learning how to say no, it gives me a kick when I have to say no. But it's a process of establishing healthy boundaries. People come to me from home, oh, we need this, oh, my roof, oh, my child's school fees, oh, this, oh, the other. I don't respond to everything. That's my boundary, and it's okay. I'm not everybody's savior, and not everybody is my savior. I'm a very humble person. I can't do everything. I can't do everything. And to be able to say that, I think it's a mark of humility. I'm nobody's savior or complex to have, oh, I can do this, I can do the other. No, I'm just a woman. I have my limitations, and that's my that's my boundaries. Okay, so I set myself up to let the relationships evolve. There's a time I could do five things for you. If I've done those 5 things for you and it's still not helpful, it's okay. There are friendships that I have had to set boundaries for myself and them, in terms of, if there's a time I would have allowed a friend or my sister or someone or brother to do certain things for me, and now there are certain things I will not allow them to do for me because I want the best for them from where I'm standing, even though they don't realize it, right? I will not allow them to spend time on certain things that I know for sure is not a very good use of their time. That is part of me establishing the boundaries, and not everybody sees it that way. For example, I would say, a cousin calls, oh, I need this and this, and this is someone you have been supporting, or someone who has supported you, or they want to oh, when you come home, let me be your driver. I think, and you can see it is not in their best interest. That is not the best use of their time. And I think they would potentially use that time much better, and I would potentially have a much better experience if, I was not having my cousin follow me everywhere, driving me everywhere when I go home, right? So I would say no to that kind of invite, but it's not coming from a place of, okay, I want to take advantage of them. It's coming from a place of, you could do so much better, and this is not the best use of your time to quit your job, and it's not the best use of your time. I would rather outsource that to someone else. 4, embrace new connections. I am a firm believer in making new connections, in making space for new things to come in, emptying space. And my family in my house, they know they know that I am the one who throws things away. I am very good at throwing things away. And things that no longer serve, things that have outlived their usefulness, things that have and they would look for something. My husband, even my kids, they look for something twice and they don't see it, and the next question is, Mommy, did you throw away my this? I am constantly cleaning house. If you know me, you know I am constantly cleaning house. I'm constantly creating space. I don't like clutter. My mind does not work when it's clutter and these things everywhere. I don't hold things. I allow things to pass through me. Through transition. I am just a vessel. Things pass through me. I don't hold on to things. And the same goes for my relationships. I don't hold on to relationships as such. They work or they're not working. At that moment, right? And it is not out of coming from a place of, oh, but we have done this together. Well, if it was truly that meaningful, then the relationship would still be thriving, right? So anyway, that's 4. Embrace new connections. Be with people who celebrate you, and be in spaces where you're celebrated. Okay, be in spaces where you're not tolerated, right? And I enjoy that. For the most part, that's one of the things I enjoy the most. I enjoy the people who recognize my accomplishment, creates room and space for my children, and I create room and space for people too. And it's one of the it's the best feeling for me to be able to say I always constantly celebrating people, because in seeing the good, and the accomplishment in other people, I am somehow also calling upon myself the same, which is very interesting. I think that a study needs to be done. Someone share a book or a podcast that talks about this phenomenon. Me celebrating other people calls to myself the same victory that my friends have. My friend has bought a house. Guess what that has called to me? Now I'm suddenly surrounded by everybody buying a house, buying second homes, buying apartment for rental property. Like, it is just so phenomenal, right? But the beginning of it was me acknowledging someone else's success, me acknowledging someone else's promotion, someone else's accomplishment. If you call me to celebrate you, I will likely show up with my children. The only thing is maybe if I'm overcommitted. But if you call me to celebrate you and your children and your accomplishment, or for whatever reason to uplift, believe me, I'm always the first one. And what can I do? How can I help? How can I bring? So that's 4. Number 5, and I think I'm getting off track. Number 5, and this is what I've struggled with a lot, is the feeling guilty. And I think that is what makes most relationships very transactional. The feeling guilty that, why do I have to be the one who has this and they don't? Oh, I have more than I need, or I have more abundance than someone else, or the guilt of having more, and not have the way I'm rationalizing. I'm coming to rationalize this is, the more I have, the more I'm able to serve more, the more I'm able to give, the more I'm able to bless others as well, and through me shining my light. And this I've struggled, and I'm still struggling with it. Through me shining my light, someone else it's a pathway, it's like a signal for someone else to also allow them to shine their light, right? And so, but this is something I'm constantly struggling with, the guilt of how come? And then when you say no, when I say no, then I have to, did I have to say no? Maybe I could have just said this, maybe the other. Yeah, that is something I also struggle with. And I don't know about you, please let me know in the comments below if that's the same thing. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, share with someone else who might benefit from this video, or someone else who might benefit from this podcast. And I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Have a good one. Be limitless. Expand and be limitless. This life, we live it how many times? Once. So be more. Live it loud, live it wide. Bye. I love you. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the latest content. I'll catch you in the next one.